All right, everybody. Chad Taylor here with my friend Nate Wolfe. We are in Yorba Linda, California. Just got done with a QE 2019 conference. Just got back to the hotel room. We are roommates again at this conference. We were in Denver as well. And I think we make a good...
Oh, yeah. We're a good team.
Good team.
No drama in our situation, so...
Yeah, it's nice. We're both easygoing, and we're both, just no quarrels.
We both like to sleep.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. So, yeah, we had a fantastic conference here. I'm sure you saw some of his live streams. I don't think I live streamed once. Yeah, at the airport.
You caught me. You caught me. I was like, where am I going to find Chad? And then all of a sudden, you're like, hey, guess what? I'm live.
Yeah.
That was fun. I did a few little live streams, just kind of showing everybody what we're excited about and what's kind of happening behind the scenes. And so that was good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know Joy and Elisa... It's late.
Yeah.
It's late.
Yeah.
Joe and Elisa did such a fantastic job of the conference, putting it on.
Yeah.
All the intricacies they must have done.
The logistics have to be a nightmare. And I would say first conference, they did very well.
Yeah, for a first conference.
There was a little bit of delay the first day because of sound, but when you think of all the different things that could go wrong at a major conference your first time, those are not the worst things that could have happened.
And from what I heard, they were only allowed in the room at a certain time. It only gave them an hour to set up or something like that. That's what I heard.
That was part of the issue was they just really didn't have the time the first go around to get everything set up in 1 hour perfectly.
Yeah.
And so even though we started late yesterday, Matt and Robbie kicked it off pretty good.
Yeah. Matt Long started off really good. Really getting into can we trust the Bible and how trustworthy is the Bible.
I was impressed with his talk. I thought he had some very solid points.
I'm gonna get. Oh, here's the thing right here.
Yeah, so even a few of the atheists that were in attendance, at least one of them brought up some good points to consider. So I'd say that's a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they'll look into it for themselves, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, right when Matt got done talking that one of the atheists that was there said, what? It was something like he gave me a lot to think about, or something like that. Like he was pausing, and it just.
And he seemed genuine.
He seemed very genuine.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, and then after that we had Robbie up. Robbie Davidson spoke after Matt, and what a really strong points. Different presentation than I saw last time.
Yeah, he changed a few things up, and he was very passionate about it. He wasn't feeling too well a couple weeks ago, so for like a whole week he was pretty drained. But I could tell 4 or 5 days ago he caught his second wind, because when we talked on the phone, he was kind of back to his energetic, hey, let's talk about all kinds of stuff. Whereas before, you could tell he wasn't feeling the greatest. But so he was back in his usual form, and I think that their talks kind of complemented each other pretty well.
Yeah.
And
Jared Crestman, who is NASA after that?
Yeah, that was a lot of information, but it was very cool.
Yeah.
Talking about the Nazis and the occult connections and how that developed into NASA through Operation Paperclip. Man, he's a wealth of information.
Yeah.
And you could tell that's a subject he was really interested in, because he's done a lot of study into that. But he spoke twice at the conference.
Yeah.
Tonight he was really powerful.
Yeah, big time.
It ended. The last few speakers, especially, were kind of powerful. Just how they culminated.
Yeah.
Personal testimonies, sharing scripture, and I was just happy to be here, honestly. But I was blessed to lead some prayers and just get a chance to hang out with all the speakers. And
Nate was the function pastor. He got to earn that title a few times.
Yeah. I got to lead some prayers and
gets a baptism in the morning. Not him.
Excited.
He's giving one.
Yeah, very excited. There's a gal who wants to be baptized, and we're going to do that tomorrow in the outdoor pool, which will be a little chilly even for Southern California, especially for Southern California standards, because it's been a little cool. But the next couple afternoons are supposed to be in the mid-60s again, so that ought to be nice. But yeah, we'll be a little chilly for the baptism, but I told her, I said, you're going to remember it better because you're going to remember that rush of cold. Mm-hmm. So it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared Cressman, I love listening to that guy. He is just on it on a lot of subjects. He is, you can tell he's done a lot of study.
And for a younger guy, I mean, he is an authority on what he speaks on. Yeah. And it's not
experience.
It's experience too.
Yeah.
And it's not a cockiness or anything like that, but he's just confident, he's passionate, and it really shows through.
And and he was the second to last speaker tonight. Again, he spoke yesterday and tonight and finished very strong. Yeah. That was really good.
And Chad always does a fantastic job of sharing about his book. No, what I like about it is you have so many different things you can discuss in your book. Like I always get something new whenever I hear you talk about, the different chapters and highlights from the book. And the people, again, seem very excited to be able to pick up a copy, and of course a few people won some copies too, so they were pretty jazzed up about that.
Was there anything I said tonight that was new?
Yeah, there seemed like there was a couple of new things that I just never, maybe I just wasn't paying as close of attention, or some of the diagrams that you were showing, a couple of the diagrams that you showed, I was like, oh yeah, some things were really clicking, especially with the whole up is up and down is down. Like, just, you kind of ran through several in a row, some slides, some depictions, and it just reinforced. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's really so simple. And we overcomplicate. Yeah. I mean, there's some things we don't know for sure, right? But a lot of it, I think we overcomplicate.
It was a goose thing, wasn't it?
The goose, yeah.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah, the goose joke. No,
so on stage, I'll ask you. So, when geese fly, when you see them flying in V formation overhead, we've all seen that. Why is one side of the V always longer than the other side? I'll give you just a minute. Okay. Because there's more geese on that side.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Nobody had the answer.
No, you would have expected, in a room of so many intelligent people, they could have come up with this scientific answer. But
But we are so guilty of overcomplicating. Like, kids can read the Bible and understand the basic concept of things. And kids, literally, dozens of kids, I get reports all the time of going through my book and just like, oh, it was really basic. And then we, with our superior intellect, complicate and twist the crap out of it, to fit the nonsense the world has taught us. So.
Well, what I like about Chad's book is I tell people, I say, it's easy. It's easy enough that anybody could read it and understand, But at the same time, there's a lot of depth in the book, and I mean, it's just hours. Better than anybody all the hours and hours and hours of study, and then just the diagrams themselves, how long those things took. And so the visual, you've got the scripture, then you've got the definitions, and then you've got the visuals. And I think most learners today are very visually oriented. I mean, there's some that learn through listening, and some that just kind of learn through relationship. But I think the majority of learners today in this culture are definitely visual, So I like all the depictions that you have in there, and I think it's a very well-rounded study book. So
I appreciate that.
I'm glad I have two copies. One I selfishly hoard for myself, and the other I give away.
I paid Nate $20 to pitch the book.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I was trying to keep that extra copy out. Somebody's looking at it, right? And then when they turn it back in, and I say, okay, who else can I give this to?
Yeah.
So that works
awesome.
out.
I've always suggested if you can swing it, to have one for yourself to continue to study and look through.
Yeah.
And then one just as a loaner when you loan out. Somebody gives it back, then loan it out to somebody else. And with any luck, that person will loan it to somebody else or so on and so forth. And I've heard lots of reports of that. So
Yeah, and it was really cool to meet some of my Facebook friends that I'd never met in person, and one of my YouTube mods who lives in California was here for the weekend, so finally got to meet her, Crystal Lane. So she's a really nice lady. She won one of your books. Yeah, she was jazzed up. Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. Gave it to her granddaughter.
Cool.
Yeah.
13-year-old who's interested for herself. Yeah, she's checking things out.
Yeah, no, really cool stuff. Oh, and I'm sure she'll watch this. She said she watches my videos and stuff.
Cool.
So, hi, Crystal.
Hey. Glad you guys made it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Al Morrington, is CBD safe? His topic.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, interesting stuff. That's a big...
I probably want to do some more research on that, but it seems like his stuff is pretty high quality. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there that seems to be kind of just cheap. You know, his stuff isn't cheap, but it seems like it's the higher quality. You know. Yeah,
it's a very interesting subject for people that. I'm not going to say one way or the other how I feel about it, but for people that are on, all kinds of prescriptions and stuff, it sure seems like a route that is worth investigating.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Christine Hildebrandt, she wasn't able to make it on vaccines for, I forget.
She had some kind of family thing that came up, and she wasn't able to come in person.
Like some kind of emergency.
But they played one of her videos, so people were able to hear her talk, her main talk about vaccinations and why they're unsafe.
Yeah, and as a parent of young kids, this is a big subject for me.
Yeah.
I mean, for all of us, but it wasn't until I had kids where I'm like, I gotta take this way more serious.
For sure.
Yeah. Emily Pittsford, she's such a nice gal.
And she gave a fantastic talk. I mean, it was direct, but it was... She was fair, and here she is talking on the subject of, are homosexuals born that way? And here she is in California, of all places, giving that conversation. So I admire her boldness, but she was loving, she wasn't aggressive or rude or anything like that. This topic hits very close to her home, because of her daughter's situation. So I was impressed.
Yeah.
And she's great, as you said. She's just a great person to get to know.
Yeah, she is. I mean,
she's
the kind of gal, just first impression, you're like, oh, she's
she's
just
cool.
a super
she's
cool, nice lady. So.
Yep.
I know I met her briefly in Ohio.
Yeah.
But we didn't get a chat until this
is my first time getting to see her in person.
Yeah.
We've chatted on the phone and stuff, and she's one of my mods too, so.
Yeah. And Daniel Knoll.
Yeah.
Covering World Trade Center 7. And so if you don't know what Building 7 is, which I'd be surprised if most people don't, but Building 7 is the biggest part of the 9/11 event where, 2 planes hit, supposedly, and 3 buildings fell. World Trade Center 7, Building 7. Look into that. That's a big subject.
It was a fascinating presentation.
Yeah, Paul on the Plane, and with Scott Henderson, he chimed in through Skype or just debunking and I shouldn't say debunking, but basically debunking a lot of the.
Yeah, I mean they were talking about the moon missions, the moon landing, some of the Apollo missions, and they were showing all kinds of pictures of stuff that obviously you could see that. It was like the bloopers, almost like bloopers. Here's some things that you can see that you can tell that they've patched up or, is evidence of staged, studio kind of stuff.
Did we really go to the moon was their talk. And absolutely all the pictures and that they showed and all the little things that in hindsight we can pour through and catch errors like the top of a soda can sticking out of the ground. On the moon, top of a soda can.
Or a beer can, we're not sure.
Oh, yeah, it could have been a beer can.
It probably was a beer can because they said they found dozens of golf balls in some of the original pictures.
Before they supposedly walked down, it sounded like.
Yeah, so they might have been hitting some golf balls and drinking some beer,
Maybe it came from Earth, they just hit it really hard.
Nice.
Tiger Woods, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Sargent, The State of the FE Union.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah, you know what's funny too is this is the first time I've met Mark. Like
Yeah.
I saw him at in Denver. Talked, emailed. I emailed him a long time ago after my book came out. First time meeting him face to face.
Yeah.
And it was nice to hear what he had to say, and sure, he's always got a
Yeah, you gave a pretty good synopsis of, what's happened in the flat Earth community over the last 3-4 years, and what he kind of thought was coming in the future, and he thinks it's going to keep building, and more and more people are coming on board every day.
He's very, very dedicated to the subject.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just a wealth of knowledge of the history, and it's just great how he's always out there, very vocal on the subject.
Yeah.
And then I was on right after him, and then Matt and Jessica Long were up there yesterday also.
Yep. They did basically like a live podcast like they would do with their new Woke Town YouTube channel, so that was pretty cool. Robbie Davidson's calling.
Robbie's calling him.
Yeah. He's wondering where are we at. He thinks we probably went to sleep early again, but
that's funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Matt and Jessica had a nice chat yesterday about quite a few different subjects. You can answer it if you want.
Yeah. Hey, Robbie, you guys downstairs?
Yeah, no, where you at?
Okay, well, we were just doing like a quick little video wrap up real quick because Chad wouldn't have time probably to do that in the morning. So, but we'll be down in like 5-10 minutes. Where are you guys at? Okay. Awesome. Okay, we'll be down soon. Okay, thanks, bro. Bye.
That's funny.
Are
they waiting on us?
Sort of, but that's okay. Yeah, Chad and I, our strategy was first 2 nights, we went to bed at a decent time, got over the jet lag, and, well, you didn't have the time change, but you might have had a little jet lag in travel. And then so tonight we're going to, we'll let our hair down just a little bit, stay up a little bit later, and then, of course, you have to travel back tomorrow, and then I travel back to Ohio on Monday. So, but all in all, I think a good trip.
Yeah.
And a good conference.
Yeah.
I hope there'll be a QE 2020, but
yeah,
we'll give Joe and his wife a few weeks, to mull things over and process everything. So.
Last speaker, surprise speaker, is Nathan Reynolds.
Yes.
And Nathan, you and I heard him talk in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Heavy subject. And
dude,
I have a huge amount of respect for him.
Yeah.
Being that vulnerable to share the kind of stories and events he went through.
Very genuine, very passionate.
You got his book over there still?
Yeah, Snatched from the Flames. Yep. I'm about halfway through. I still have some reading to do. It's a thick book.
Yeah.
But it really
so
it's a nice chronology of what happened.
Snatched from the Flames.
Yeah.
On Amazon. If I remember, Nathan, if you're watching, if I remember, I'll put the link in the description of the video. But
it's a very interesting book.
Whew, yeah.
It's not a light book. I mean, it's there's some heavy stuff in there. And he warns you at the beginning. He's like, look, this isn't like a little coffee table book here,
Now it's a coffee table book.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah. Just briefly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it up. And he also has that coffee. They were the official coffee suppliers of the conference. And so I bought a box of the Organo coffee packets. It was very good coffee.
That's pronounced oregano. No, I'm joking.
Oregano, yeah. No wonder it tastes like pizza. No, but the little packets, it's very flavorful. It doesn't have it has a little less caffeine than some of the coffee, which is fine. I probably could do with less caffeine, but it's very flavorful.
Yeah. And you pour it in, add water. There's no filtering, no nothing.
You just pour it in, add water, and of course I always add a little cream and sugar in there. But it was good stuff.
Yeah, it's a great book, and it's not a light read. It's really well written. Like the language, like when I was reading it, I'm like, wow, I wish I could write this good.
He's definitely a writer. He has a writer's talent. Yeah.
And
just his descriptions of everything, and he really does a good job of painting a word picture in your mind of what was happening. And
his backstory, just like satanic ritual abuse. So, but especially for people that have been abused, heavily abused. I know you've dealt with things, with what's the word that I'm looking for? With the services like
social work. When I did social work for a few years, and I did investigations for child abuse and neglect, sexual abuse. For the state of Alaska, and then a short time as a police officer. So there was a lot of, domestic violence,
terrible
and
stuff. Yeah.
related things, and so, it's a heavy subject, but it's important that people like him, and people like Tom and Jared of Through the Black, Emily, they're speaking out on these important subjects because a lot of people have suffered similar situations, but they don't have their own voice, and they're not aware that there's people out there who have worked through these things. You never get over it, but you can work through it, especially by God's grace, and that's what Nathan's talk tonight was, and just talking about eternal things. It was powerful. And the Flat Earth panel, QE panel, it wasn't just about Flat Earth. It was all the speakers and basically questions from the attendees on various subjects. That was a very good,
and the way Joe did it.
It was probably one of the best panels. Like smooth, comprehensive. I mean, I thought it was one of the best panels I've ever seen.
So after every speaker was up there, you got a code, and you went to a website, typed in the code, and then put whatever question you wanted. That question was for that speaker. And so
it was very organized.
Very organized.
And Joe was a very good facilitator.
He couldn't have done better. I mean,
on
that it was like very smooth, and I love it.
I thought it was great. Man.
There's none of us speakers grabbing the mic for 25 minutes. Let me add one more thing.
True. No, and Robbie and I, we have our radio show, Celebrate Truth Radio. That's always 7 p.m. to 9 Pacific, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. And so it just worked out perfectly where we kind of were outside on the balcony or on the patio. We gave a quick little intro, and then we came in, and the first hour of the show, people got to listen to Jared's talk.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was live. We were live on the radio. So,
holy cow.
During Jared's talk. And then we also, when he quit, it was perfect timing for our normal commercial break for 3 or 4 minutes. And then I did a little bit of sharing about the conference, my impressions for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then the panel was set up. So most of the second hour of the radio show was the panel.
Wow.
So people got to listen to it live if they tuned in, but probably within the next week, the radio show, freedomslips.com, I think Revolutionary Radio, they'll have it archived, and then Robbie will most likely... he'll either just upload it to his YouTube channel, Celebrate Truth, or maybe he'll do like a premiere for it or something like that. So if you missed it live, that should surface again here in the near future.
For your radio show.
Yeah, but I hope it sounded okay and worked out okay live. It's, it's a different thing than we've done before, but it's episode 8, if you can believe. Awesome. We already have 8 episodes. Awesome. So Robbie was on the panel, so obviously for that, I had to kind of earn my keep on the show as co-host who can swoop in when needed and kind of take over. And I think it turned out really well. So I'm looking forward to hearing the final product, how all that worked out.
And I guess lastly, what Joe did is he had it all recorded. And so they're going to, put all together however they do the editing and stuff, and it'll be available for digital download, the whole conference. And I think he even said, or just a speaker, if you want just a speaker, or the whole conference. I think that's how he said. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think, so go to QE2019.com, and, it costs us,
it's probably like $10 or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean...
Well worth it, worth it.
Instead of... what it costs to go to a function and time away and stuff like that, which is understandable why the majority of people can't make conferences like this. But for $10 or $20 or whatever it's going to be, I mean, it's more than well worth it for how good it is. Definitely. So look for that. I think he said a couple weeks. It should be up.
Like 1 to 2 weeks.
Anyway, so
So all in all, it was very good. I mean, I was definitely happy to be here for a number of reasons. And we're going to go downstairs and hang out with some of the speakers and people that are still around and haven't gone to bed yet.
Yeah. Sounds good. So
cool.
All right. Well, I guess Nate Wolfe,
Yep.
Chad Taylor, signing out from California.
Yeah.
And we'll see you.
See you on Coffee with Chad or something down the road.
Coffee with Chad or his show or my show.
Awesome.
Yeah, you'll see us sooner or later.
See you guys.
Good night.